What's up, guys? It's Joe and Mike coming at you again from our mom's basement. And today we're opening it up. A little bit of an AMA, AUA, Ask Us Anything. Our dropshipping sales last year were, I guess, 6.5 M's. And, you know, people might be interested in asking questions because the reality is we've been doing this for God knows how long at this point. This
We're
isn't
coming up on the 8-year anniversary, Joe.
of this store.
Not of this store, but yeah. I mean, we started drop shipping around March of 2016.
This store was started in 2016, wasn't it?
Right, and this store was a bit later in the year that we made it, but the first store we made was in March.
Okay.
So we're closing in on a decade of high ticket drop shipping. And we still don't have a Lambo.
No. And these kids are, they get sales for 1 month and they're all happy about it.
We must be doing something so wrong. We've been at it for friggin' 8 years. We can't even afford a measly Lambo.
I can't even get a good shirt.
I know. You get these friggin' secondhand tattered shirts. Honestly, Joe, the tattered style.
What is this? Why does it show the thumb?
I don't know. I'm not doing the thumb. Are people I don't know. Maybe it's a StreamYard thing. People are reacting.
Maybe. I don't know.
Hearts, but yeah, guys. So we're gonna open the field to questions. Whatever questions you have about drop shipping, about getting sales, because that's what we're here to do. Who else is coming online and talking about $6.5 million worth of sales on one store? They've been drop shipping for 8 years and living in their mom's basement all the while. It's not an easy feat.
No.
So we got Jacob. What's up, Jacob? Hey, Bao. Looking forward to the stream. Tuning in from New Zealand. What's up, Jacob? Must be getting late there. Maybe midnight. Timothy says, "Hey guys, love from the UK." What's with everybody shouting out where they're from?
I think that's normal.
How long did it take you to get your first sale since you first launched your ads on your first store? So we tell this story a little bit, but since it's the 8-year anniversary, then I guess we'll tell it again. So in 2016, Joe and I were full steam ahead on Kindle publishing. We were making romance books. We had a team of writers, and I had just put in my 2 weeks to quit my job. Joe had just closed on a house. I don't know if you closed yet or if it was in closing or what the deal was.
Oh, yeah, it was done.
It was done. It was closed. And it was March 15th, 2016. And we get an email from Kindle Publishing. Your accounts have been suspended. You will not receive royalties from January, from February, from March. And now your account is not even active. You're not even making money. And this was a good chunk of royalties, Joe. We're on track for 6 figures. At least me personally, you were doing your own account. You were on the same trajectory. So we had nothing. Our back was against the wall. And so we basically started doing the dropshipping thing. We were like living together at this point, and we went from zero to getting the store up, getting it running, and getting that first sale in 2 weeks. So we actually got 2 sales the first day we started running ads. And I want to say we had like 15 products, no more than 30 products were on the site. First day running ads. I think we had maybe 3 suppliers when we started running ads.
3.
Yeah. And I don't know why we only I guess one supplier had maybe like 5 products. The other supplier had maybe 10 products. And then we had a third supplier that had a huge catalog. And I don't know why we only uploaded like 1 or 2 product lines from them. So we had, some less than 30 products. And we got 2 sales that first day. I remember Joe had a little poodle who you'll sometimes see in the videos. And we got that first sale. I took the poodle and I held it up as an homage to the dropshipping gods. And that's what happened. So, I mean, that was like, it was really good to really put in a lot of effort and get that first sale so quick. But all the other stores we've made, sometimes it would take a week. I mean, it really just depends kind of on the situation.
I think there was an element of luck to that one.
I agree.
And actually, I think that's something we should talk about real quick because, you know, when you're first starting an online business, you may or may not say, let's say 3 months. 3 months is a really, really reasonable time to make your first sale. Just, I guess, at an average pace of contacting, making the website, and uploading. Now, if you have success really early, it may kind of give you a false like mindset boost. And then when you run into an obstacle, you know, you might be like thrown off by it. Whereas if you have to work a little bit harder for it, it may not, that same phenomenon may not happen. And we've seen this with people who get kind of lucky with their first online endeavor. And then, I mean, I experienced this. And then when you run into a challenge, it's like you're ready to quit pretty much.
Yeah, it's a gift and a curse. But I think no matter what, even if you have success, you're going to get to the next level of success, you're going to have to overcome resistance. So this is something you need to get used to if you want to have long-term success, is like nothing is really going to come easy. And you have to be used to overcoming hurdles because, yeah, maybe we got lucky. I like to think it was destiny. No, I'm just kidding. But like even after that, the store struggled for months after that. Yeah. And then we decided to kind of start up a second store and whatever. So we had that initial thing, but then we had to kind of overcome, okay, like the store isn't getting consistent sales. Like what's going on there? And like we tried raising the ad spend like really high one time. And then we kind of blew through money. We're like, okay, we got to figure this out. So we say that to say, yeah, there's always going to be obstacles. Some people go through a lot up front. Some people get really lucky up front and then they hit the obstacles later. So it just kind of it's kind of a learning experience.
Yeah, there were definitely times after that first sale where at least I wanted to quit. Like I was like, this sucks. This isn't working. Before we started our second store, I would say.
Yeah, we were actually having this conversation in the office hours yesterday, and we were talking about this exact thing. The guy was asking like, how do you stay motivated at certain times, and how do you feel like things aren't a chore? And so I said, well, where are you in your kind of phase of things? And he's still uploading products. I was like, well, that's the worst possible phase to be in because you have no like connection to it being real or even to it being something that's going to make you money. Like you haven't had that actual neurological feedback.
Well, I kind of experienced things in the opposite way. Like in the beginning phases of something, I feel like, or if I'm on to a strategy or something I want to test, I could really, really, really go hard at it for a month or even more. And then I get really burned out and then I don't even want to think about it. So I feel like if I don't have that positive feedback in that time frame, then it starts to feel like a chore. So I don't know. I guess everyone works a little bit differently.
I think kind of the common way that it works is, I mean, we've experienced this too, but like, you know, you see a new thing, like you see a new video about this new method or this opportunity, and then that kind of gets the dopamine going. And, you know, you watch the webinar or you watch the sales pitch, and then the dopamine is at its peak, and then you get sold on something and then you buy it, and then it comes time to actually do it. And I think that's where a lot of people have a crash in the dopamine because now they have to actually put in effort and like go through some resistance in order to get to that next level. So a lot of people are just course junkies. Like they'll just, you know, they buy the course, the dopamine goes down because now they have to do the work, and then they're on to the next dopamine hit.
Some people are like that, but I think there's others that are willing to really, really put in a lot of effort really fast up front. And then if the result doesn't come within that first like sprint, whether it be a month or 2 months, that's when they start getting discouraged. So yeah, definitely.
Well, I think
It can
that's
go
why
either way.
like even like motivation and like mindset kind of comes into the picture, or because if you don't have proper motivation to do something, like a real reason to do it, you're not going to maybe get as much done as you should. Like you're basically saying that what you do is you capitalize on that kind of that rush that comes from the initial thing, and you're able to ride that out for a month.
Yeah. At the end of the day, I think it depends on your where you're at on the spectrum of things.
You're definitely on the spectrum somewhere. But let's keep going here. We're just rambling on. We got Robin said, "Hey guys, hello Robin." Alex said, "How's it going?" It's going good. Pixelated said, "Can you give yearly revenue numbers up until now?" I can. I can look it up right now, and also keep in mind we've had multiple stores running concurrent, so like our total yearly, it's not just one store. We would have like 4 stores running yearly. But I can tell you this store's yearly revenue. I'll go get that.
I could maybe take a picture.
I'll go through it right now. You can get some of these chats.
Okay. Picture would be cool. Haitian Buffet says, "Happy New Year, guys. I'll send you some Haitian soup." Oh, nice. Yeah. I want the whole buffet. I don't want just the soup.
Yeah, what kind of shit is that?
Otar Chevolishvili. Any idea how to negotiate with suppliers, close them, and keep relationships long term? Okay, the key is you got to call them back. Like, I'm not really worried. When I first call a supplier, I'm going in with full confidence that I'm going to close them, but I also don't really care too much if I don't, because I know I'm going to call them back in 3 months, 4 months, and I'm going to have more sales then, and I'm going to talk about my sales numbers then, and then it's going to be easier to close them. So I think the best way to get more suppliers is to get more suppliers. And actually, when we were growing our portfolio, we've sold basically all the stores now but one. We would use the leverage of the other stores to get suppliers for the new stores. So we would say, hey, we own this, this, and this. Combined, they're doing so much in sales. We think we could really help grow your brand because look at how knowledgeable we are at e-commerce in these other areas. So I would say the more suppliers you have in total, the more sales you have in total, the better you could talk to suppliers. And that's exactly how you do it.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, I'm gonna take. I have to do it like by year. I have to kind of do it individually. But what I'll say is, I'll just give you the rundown. We don't need a picture. Pictures can be photoshopped anyway. 2016 looks like we got our first sale in December. So we only had 5 orders that year in 2016 for this store. So our total sales were.
Well, why don't you write it down somewhere? We could pull it up on the screen because it's going to be confusing
All
to
right,
talk about numbers.
Screw it. I'll just take pictures.
Put it in like a sheet or something. Alex Marcy, has there been any changes you've had to implement to deal with the influx of competition in the space? Not really. So there was a time when we were going pretty hard on the organic stuff. Like I was doing a lot of Harrow, help a reporter out, and we were just building up our domain authority. So that does give us a little bit of an edge in the organic rankings. But I think having a mature website, a mature ad account, it kind of insulates you from new people coming into the space. And we see that with our competition as well. I feel like the longer they've been around, and it's also like there's a little bit of a momentum thing where people come back. You become kind of like a brand in the space. And also people look at products, they type in your brand to Google, and that helps build up and insulate you from competition as well. So it's kind of like a snowball effect. But I wouldn't say there's like any specific things we had to do. I would say also having a good salesperson really helps, being responsive and attentive to live chats, emails, phone calls. That's just basic customer service stuff that is I guess pretty obvious, not that easy to implement, but pretty obvious, can insulate you from competition. Haitian Buffet says, my first sale was through free traffic while uploading products. Yeah, that for sure happens sometimes. It's definitely a lucky thing to happen, but we have seen it on many occasions. Ranjit says, hi guys, love your show. For an established stores, what percentage of sales come in from ads versus organic? How long to get to that point? The truth is, like, I feel like we really don't know this. The analytics of it isn't really that accurate, and it's hard to track like the true customer journey. So like someone could come in from an ad 30 days ago, come back organically because they type in the store name and then buy. And it could also happen vice versa. They come in organically and then click an ad. So I don't know. We really don't have good analytics on this, unfortunately. I think it's really hard to get. You can kind of look at the customer journey on an order by order basis, like in Shopify. If you go to orders and go to, basically, if you scroll down, it kind of like tracks where they
conversion details, so where they first came from, basically.
Yeah. So I'm looking at a 15K sale that we got yesterday. The first page they hit was an organic. It was an organic article. It was like a best article, and then their first visit was December 20th. It doesn't show where they came back or how they came back, but then they bought January 2nd. So I don't know. That kind of stuff happens all the time, whether they start with an ad or they start with a organic result. So, and we really, we can't say, which one comes from which, because when you're getting so much traffic, it's really hard to tell. Sean Dingley says, what are your tips on making high ticket businesses appear more legitimate? Do you focus on becoming BBB rated?
These are good questions.
Yeah, this is a good question. I wouldn't focus on BBB specific. There's a couple things you could do. If you have if you want to rent like a small warehouse or something, you could maybe get a Google My Business. If you don't want to do that, I would not focus on BBB, but maybe other ones like Trustpilot. They're one you can get good Trustpilot reviews. Maybe get reviews on a Facebook page. That way, when someone Googles your brand name, you want them to see obviously your website, but then all your related profiles like Trustpilot and all those kind of things that are associated with good reviews about your business. BBB, I feel like, is more of a scam than anything else. So that's kind of the least one I would focus on.
I mean, I think it has clout, like people do respect it, but I just can't bring myself to want to do it because of I feel like they're scamming people because they present themselves in some sort of legal body, like some actual authority, when they're really the same as Trustpilot or any other like review type company, because they call themselves the Better Business Bureau. People think it's like the friggin' FBI of the internet. It's literally just a friggin' company. You pay them and you get an A rating as long as you're responding to claims.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's whatever. I'm almost done with this. I've uploaded everything into a little slide deck here. It's actually more interesting than I thought, the growth trajectory. So
yeah,
almost done.
Jacob, got a question on your early days of high ticket drop shipping. Do you guys depend on the high ticket business to cover living expenses, or did you build a cash reserve to cover for an X amount of time? I think I already had a cash reserve, even though we got banned from Kindle. We did.
I really didn't.
Yeah,
but I was younger.
Yeah, I had a pretty good cash reserve, and I was like how to house and stuff. So
Yeah, 8
I
years
would
ago, I
definitely
was
recommend having a cash reserve.
22.
Um, that's probably the best idea.
Something else I was saying yesterday is like kind of I think the fact that we had so much like our back was against the wall in that situation led us
Mm-hmm.
to accomplishing more faster. Because
Mm-hmm.
if we just kind of did it half-ass, we had Kindle going and whatever, like if we would have even got the store done and made it happen, but because we had no other choice, that allowed us to get it done quicker. So it's like on one hand, you don't want to tell somebody, hey, you got to put yourself in like a shitty situation in order to thrive, but those situations can fuel you. But yeah, you should always have something to fall back on, like in a worst case scenario.
Yeah. Kenneth says, "Thank God I was lucky with my store." Robin says, "Can you talk about your content efforts to use an AI writer? How many articles interlinking?" For this site, we have a combination of AI and human written content from before AI really existed. The interlinking efforts are very minimal. I have to say, every time I've really tried to use interlinking, like really intentionally to boost the page, it doesn't work. Kind of, I guess the site it has been very favorable in terms of sustaining organic rankings. And the thing I attribute that to is lots of paid traffic and also like good Harrow links. We have links from like really, really authoritative websites from Harrow that have been pretty good, and it does get organic links as well. So yeah, I think both of those things have been most helpful. Like, I don't know. I don't like to put too much effort on interlinking. I mean, people say that it's super valuable, but I feel like every time that I try to do it super intentionally, like it literally makes no difference. I like on-page optimization. I like paid ads, and I like Harrow links. I'm kind of really lately I've kind of been reflecting, taking a little bit of break from consuming any sort of SEO content and kind of been reflecting on what's been the most effective. And I would say those three things have been by far the most effective. One of them is not talked about, the paid ads portion of it. But paid ads and SEO go hand in hand. I don't care what anyone says.
It also goes back to that question somebody was asking me before about what level is split between SEO sales and paid traffic, and to that effect, if it is true that paid ads helps your organic rankings, it makes that line even more blurry because you wouldn't have the rankings that get the organic sales if not for the paid traffic at all.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you want to get to these sales now or if you want to just save it for the end.
Oh, we got a lot of questions.
Yeah, so what do you want to do first?
Let's keep at it with the questions because we might run out eventually, and then we could do the numbers. So we're going to do the year by year numbers after this.
Yeah.
Timothy Park, what would be a valid reason to pivot from a niche, even after a suitable level of niche validation? Well, what is niche validation? Because this is something certainly not something that we talk about. I think this is a little bit of a misnomer.
Niche validation is a term that another dropshipping course uses as a bonus that you get when you sign up with them.
Okay.
So I don't know. I mean, maybe you can elaborate more, Timothy, on what it means, niche validation. But like, if you've watched a little bit of our content, you'll kind of get the idea that we're not in favor of just like picking one niche and having that be your store. And we kind of fell into this with our first store. Like Joe said, maybe we got lucky because we got sales at the gate, but like we picked a really specific niche. And by doing this, it prevented us from expanding out to other product types. So even though we got sales in that area, we probably could have grown the store a lot bigger and gotten more feedback and help, like even growing that one product type, if we had positioned ourselves in a way to take on more niches, we call it product types, in that store. So like we were selling standing desks, but the way our domain name was, it's like it was hard to sell anything other than like super like ergonomic type stuff. So like when do you pivot? I don't know. Do you mean start a new store, or do you mean like get another type of product? Because it would be ideal to have multiple product types on one store, just out the gate. And then that way, when you're running ads, you see, okay, this is getting better cost per conversion, or these margins are better, or this supplier is better. And then you make decisions. You're like pivoting towards what's working the entire time. And you'll actually see when we show the sales here, that's kind of a little bit of what we've done on this store, as well as every other store, is like you lean in on the particular product types that work, and you can get more suppliers for those particular product types. And then that's how you iterate. So if you want to give us more details, then I'm happy to kind of give you a better answer.
He says, yeah, my last name is weird. Another question. How do you close a deal with your first supplier if you're just getting started? Well, obviously, I mean, you could say anything you want at the end of the day. I'm not encouraging you to lie. We never really had to lie. I know others that have lied, but what I will say is that, like, I remember when we first started, I had like sales on Amazon, so I was talking about that. But it's just gonna come down to your confidence at the end of the day. Be like, yeah, I really think we can grow your brand. And also, when you call your second supplier, you've already, technically you're in talks with your first supplier. So you could say, hey, we're also in talks with this brand. We're hoping to launch with them as well. So already you had your first phone call, you're leveraging it for your second, and so on and so forth. And that could be a good way if you don't have the actual numbers to back it up.
Exactly.
Okay. Timothy Park. Have you guys ever pitted it? Yeah, we just kind of answered this. I don't. Yeah, we got to know what you mean by validation.
I wanted to add the caveat that we never had like a product type that's completely failed, or like a niche that's completely failed. It's like some things can take longer to kind of really work out than others. So that's why if you kind of get other product types, okay, this one works fast and I could work on this, and then this one's running in the background and I can like, over time it'll work out. Like we've had brands that barely did any sales for us for like the first year or two that we had them. And then I'm looking back, I'm like, oh, wow, actually, like if I look at the last 6 months of spend, this didn't spend that much and it was getting some pretty good sales. So let me now really work on this a little bit more, and we grow it to, a decent brand for us. So that's what I have to say about that. Haitian Buffett. Got a question. Is there a reason why an ad now getting impressions when the bids are a lot higher than the average bids for the keywords? One product type is only getting about 3 to 10 impressions daily. Is there a reason why an ad now getting impressions, or an ad not getting impressions, when the bids are a lot higher than average bids for those keywords? If we're talking shopping ads, if you're higher than what it says the benchmark max CPC is, you should be getting impressions for sure. This is a kind of a complicated question, because depending on the campaigns you have, the negative keywords and stuff like that, that can be limiting what you're showing up for. And could also be like the product itself for the ad has like a really bad quality score. So if you keep increasing the bids like incrementally, you should eventually see impressions start to roll in, and then clicks and stuff like that. But yeah, there could be limiting factors. 3 to 10 impressions seems really low, and usually means something is wrong kind of with like your targeting, I'd say.
Robin says the Sauna Bureau.
That'd be a very authoritative name.
Yeah. Except I don't really like I think it's hard to spell bureau, but If the time goes back, what business model to go with? Would it be drop shipping, blogging, or something else? Drop shipping, 150 million%. All these other business models, blogging included, are always up and down. This is changing, that's changing. You got to learn this, you got to learn that. There's a boom, there's a crash. Drop shipping has been the most consistent business model, at least the way we do it, for the past decade that we've been in this. So, and it's not that it's not that once you hit a certain point, you may want to move to other business models because you could have some, I guess, higher risk, higher reward, higher cash intensive returns, like land, for example. If we reinvest a lot of our money into land, we do invest money into blogging, even though I'm kind of, honestly, I don't know, I'm using a lot of paid traffic for blogging nowadays. So yeah, I would definitely go with drop shipping because of the consistency. So drop shipping, what do you think about it like this? You want to have as much high intent traffic at your disposal that you can utilize. So with drop shipping, you have three things. You have Google Shopping, very high intent paid traffic. You have text ads, very high intent paid traffic, and you have organic, very high intent paid traffic if you target, or not very high intent free traffic if you target the right keywords. If you only do blogging, you pretty much have to rely on organic, which has many problems. Not only have to wait for a very long time, but when you're paying Google, it helps your organic, period. And you have three legitimate channels that all work together in synchronicity with high ticket drop shipping. So that's what makes it so good, in my opinion.
And when you couple the high intent with the high margin, that is what makes a huge difference and can really help secure yourself financially, because there's not many things that you can do in this world that you could make $1,000 a pop from your computer. Absolutely. It's like such a straightforward method that doesn't require, expert copywriting skills or expert sales skills or anything like that. You're just showing up with a high ticket product when someone is looking for that exact product. They're searching a high intent keyword related to that product.
Absolutely. Phoenix says, in a branded campaign, how do I know if it's my bid or the brand search volume on why I'm getting impressions or clicks? Mike?
Well, it's probably unlikely to get 0 clicks. Like 0 clicks, it's probably you. It's not that the brand has 0 clicks worth of demand. What you could do is you could install keywords everywhere. You could search some terms related to that brand, search the brand name plus the product name, and see if stuff has volume. I think 99% of the time it will have volume, and that will tell you right there, like, what the deal is. If you search a brand name and it has 0 volume, how did you even find the brand? Like, the only time I've ever encountered really low brand demand has been when I've gone to like trade shows and stuff and like worked with those companies, because they really have no presence. Some of them, like, they're just starting up. They're just trying to get their name out there. So if you found a company online and they're being sold online, there must be demand for it. They're not just going to bring in these products and have them sit in a warehouse indefinitely.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of times it's other people.
Because of your
pick applied for the US. UK, you see some really low brand search volumes, and like UK has these weird things where they don't want people using their brand name and stuff like that. That's a whole separate situation. If you're in the US and you're experiencing this problem, it's 90% of the time, 95% of the time, something you're doing wrong.
Okay. What about dropshipping? No. What about dropshipping sourcing from China with fast shipping, 8 days?
This is what I just said. You're not going to get any branded demand. Nobody's going to know the brand, so they're not going to really shop with you. If you look up, like, this is the whole point. This is the whole point that this works, is because there's brands that exist that have demand, that have high margin, that people are already looking for, that you can just sell and make a bunch of money on. You ship a product from China, nobody knows it, it's going to break. You're going to try and email the guy in China. They're not going to answer you. They're not going to give a shit. You're going to get a charge back. You're going to lose $3,000, and you're going to say it doesn't work. If at 30 to 50K a month, what is the best and optimal way to get to 100K a month? Well, whatever you spent to get to 30 to 50K a month in ads, double your spend. That's the quick answer. How do you do that?
That's the quick answer, but I don't think he should go and turn up his.
No. Yes, no, I'm not saying to do that, but that is the answer. So, how you get there is something you need to figure out, because the answer is not conversion rate optimization.
Right.
That's the point I'm trying to make.
It could be adding more suppliers.
But thereby, by adding more suppliers,
you're adding more spend, obviously.
More spend that is high intent.
Right. So
get your ad spend up that way.
The answer is capturing more high intent traffic.
Yeah. Whatever your traffic is now, double it at the same level of intent, or maybe a little bit less intent is okay. But this is why we have an entire module inside the program dedicated towards scaling. And I'm using exact examples. I'm using, okay, how do we use the bid simulator inside Google to get the most traffic we can for like our high intent terms? And then once we hit a ceiling there, we can move on and kind of go back and get more suppliers and start that process all over. And this is the exact same process we've done with the store. Ketamine. Can you share your profit margin from your sales for sales only minus cost of goods and ads, and from business after cost of employees? Well, I looked it up here on this store. Last year we spent $362,000 on Google Ads, so that's a little bit less than a 20x return on ad spend. I don't have the profit numbers.
Yeah, we got to do that for the year. I'll do that as it gets closer to tax time.
Yeah, we really chop it down in depth during tax time, because it's like a lot of orders, things don't ship, like the same month that they're ordered sometimes, and so things get refunded. So it's better for us to look at it at a yearly basis. So we're gonna make a video about that when we have it. But
yeah, we'll do a separate video.
We're not losing money. I mean, even if we made 10% on the revenue as like our gross profit, that's $650,000, which I'm like being grossly conservative, and then minus $362,000 in ad spend. That's like, I could use that heuristic. Okay, the store made a good amount of money, but it's obviously much higher than that. How many employees do you hire? Do you hire employees for sales and customer service from the US or other countries like the Philippines, etc.? Combination of both. We've done it real differently for different stores. The one big store that we sold, we had like 8 employees on it. They were all overseas. This store, we have less employees, more native English people. And a store at this capacity, you really only need 1 or 2 good native English people on it to run it, versus I don't know how many overseas employees.
I would love to talk more about the store that we sold, like the last store that we sold with Quiet Light. We have an interview with Pat Yates about that on our channel, but I don't know how much detail like we're supposed to talk about, but I don't know. kind of humorous.
We may be able to talk about it sooner than later.
Oh, you think if it goes in that, you think if it's out of, if it changes hands, then we have full range.
I would say so.
Okay. That would be good.
Yeah, so I think we'll be able to disclose more on that. I'm dying to disclose. How do you deal with making payments to suppliers by employees? Do you give them access to your payment card, or do you use any system where you have to authorize payments, etc.? Suppliers have our credit card on file. Our employees have our credit card. What are they going to do? Buy a Lambo? You should be looking at your credit card charges, making sure that everything is above board anyway, because suppliers will accidentally charge you for the wrong amount or double charge you, or like an employee is not going to risk their livelihood most of the time to buy something on your credit card, because then they're going to get fired. So I'm not worried about giving out credit card information to companies I'm working with or employees I've had for a while. What you guys recommend as a starting point for ad spend? So this is a good question that we get a lot, and it's hard to give an exact answer, because the real answer is whatever you feel comfortable spending. So you can look at it on a monthly basis. Okay, I can theoretically spend $300 a month for 10 months. I have $3,000. I'm going to set it aside. I'm going to use this for ad spend. And if I keep at this for 10 months, or call it 600 for 5 months, I'm going to commit this ad spend to that. Or if it's, a monthly basis, I can commit $500 a month every month. I'm willing to burn it until I can get this working. And so by doing that, by taking bets you can afford to lose, theoretically, you're going to win the game eventually. Is that a good answer, Joe? Or is that a shit answer?
That's the Dave Ramsey-esque answer. If you could put it on the kitchen table and set it on fire, then
is that what he says?
Yeah, that's what he says about like buying like a car, like something that would be like a car or something like that loses value or whatever. But yeah, in terms of this, I mean, you don't have to take it to that level, but just don't like overextend yourself with it.
Because this is what we don't want. We don't want somebody that has only $500 that they can throw out to make this work, and then they spend 200 of it, 250. They're not seeing the result that they want yet, and now they're getting scared. Now they're going to make decisions based off of fear, and they're going to make bad decisions. They're going to pause their ads. They're going to do stupid things. And then what's going to wind up happening is they have to stop because they've lost their momentum, or they've lost too much of their money. And that's the only way we see people fail.
Well, what you can consider doing is, like, say you have a job and like you're putting some aside for like savings or whatever. I would say you could stop saving money or like investing it. Like, stop investing money and consider this your investment.
Exactly. Money that you can afford to lose. You weren't going to see that money anyway. It was going towards your 401k or whatever.
Yeah.
So just as your 401k can go up or down, this is something you're
putting it into another tax deductible asset because you're spending money. You're writing off your advertising spend. So I would say it's better use than your retirement account, at least.
I think what we see produce better results over the long term is somebody that is willing to spend any amount of money on ads for a longer period of time versus like a particular amount.
Yeah.
Because if you can commit 6 months to actually giving your all, figuring out how to make a high ticket dropshipping store, how to get the suppliers, run the ads, and do it Well, if you can keep at it for 6 months of running ads consistently, you're going to get some sort of result out of that. Your result is going to be proportionate to your ad spend, but a result is a result. And so once you start to get some sales, now you can start to look, okay, even if I lost a little bit of money, where did my money go? Was a bunch of my money spent on something I didn't sell? Okay, now you can tweak it. Now you're starting the process of making your ads profitable. Once they're profitable, now you're playing with house money. So you can scale up from 200 a month, 300 a month. Now we're spending 500 a month. Okay, now we made $1,000. House money. Now I'm going to spend 1,000 a month on ads. Okay, and that's exactly what we do on our stores. And that's how we've done this over the last 8 years. And it's just, it's again, hard to lose if you can just stay in the game for a long enough amount of time. Skill Tom, how many stores do you have? How many hours do you spend per week to manage your stores? So right now we just have this one big store. We've sold the other stores that we solely managed. We have another one that is like kind of, we don't care about anymore. We have like a partner on it. So yeah.
Do we? Oh, right.
Yeah.
The
other day, actually. But yeah, we've done this because we've kind of been able to see like, all right, this store has growth potential, and you know, it's easier at the end of the day to, sometimes you got to clear the runway, as we like to say, so you can really take off.
Yeah.
Robin, what year did you start the Harrow links? Oh my God, wait, what the hell's going on? There's so many questions.
I think like 2020, but we haven't done them for like a year or two at this point. So, yeah.
Clarence said, I love your course. Unfortunately, I ventured into high-end fashion as my niche and experienced zero sales with a great supplier, great product descriptions, etc. Your process works, so it's on me.
Well,
do you remember this guy?
High-end fashion. I mean, his name kind of looks familiar.
It does. I don't remember him from like the Discord or anything, but that's something we absolutely would not recommend, and we probably told you not to do it.
Well, you know what you can do at this point is, I would say we've actually done a video on this, but
wait, what?
There's high ticket products around this that I'm sure would work well. So, like for example, we talked about, it was like we built like a fake like green room store.
Oh, right.
So, you know, you got fashion shows, you got the runways, the lights, the curtains. So maybe I would start thinking.
Yeah, like costumes, like high-end costumes could
thinking
be
in that direction. But like LARPing?
No, like I just searched like studio costume, and so the horrordome.com came up. So it's there's like it's like a HD Studios Pro costume, like professional costumes. So this Bigfoot costume is $530.
Yeah, it's hard to.
I mean, this is like getting real adventurous in terms of what we recommend. There's ways to potentially like mitigate your risk, like Joe is saying. If you have a studio store, then you could be selling lighting, you could be selling green room stuff, you could be selling costumes, whatever. That's one way to mitigate it. But yeah, something like fashion is completely different from what we teach. And yeah, I saw you were in the Discord over a year ago, and then there wasn't much conversation there. So you didn't even tell us the niche. So wish we could have helped out more. Anyway, Joe, we're almost at 50 minutes, so I don't know.
I mean, I think we can get through them.
All right. Is it going to do the sales?
Yeah, we'll do like a lightning round.
All right.
Listen, we're not going to drag on this stream. We're going to end at 60 minutes. because people start to fall off as it goes too long. So stay tuned.
If we can get 40 people in here, then we'll keep it going. So
like this video, comment, do whatever, share it with your friends. All right. Litmo Health. Do you think it's worth it to have products in the store that cost 100 to 300? Not necessary to promote them with ads. A lot of sales, little margins, but a lot of orders to make profit at the end. Yeah, it's totally fine. As long as you're not spending a lot of money advertising them, it's not going to hurt you. You can advertise them, just don't spend too much per click. And we've done this.
If you watch one of the last videos we did, we break down the profit and loss statement for a particular month on a store, and we were selling these bar stools that were in that price range, and so people were buying like 4 of them, and we'd make a good chunk of change off of them.
And in a previous store, we had maybe over 1,000 like art pieces, and they were like $200 each, and they were bid very, very low. I mean, they were like all uploaded with the CSV with like no descriptions, basically.
Yeah,
and they made sales. So.
And they had like 50% margins too, so those were pretty sick.
Timothy Park said, that's what I meant. Clarence Riley said, how much ad spend is reasonable for a startup? You kind of already answered this, but it's, I would say as much as you are comfortable losing. Not that you should lose it, but that's the best way to operate. We answered that like maybe 5 minutes ago. Do you guys have general liability insurance for your LLC in case someone gets injured with your products? Also, if so, what percent legal fee coverage? I think we had like $1 million or something, maybe 2. But yeah, we do have it. I don't think it's necessary because I'm not a lawyer, but it's not like these are your products. They're like the brand's products. So I mean, technically, like if you buy like an Instant Pot from Walmart and it like malfunctions, I mean, yeah, you could technically go after Walmart, but I think most of the time they're going to go after the company that manufactured the product. Haitian Buffet, it's shopping and quality good, so I think maybe the negative keywords probably. Thank you. What was your ad spend in dollars of 2023 to get the 6.6 million of sales? You said that, Mike. What was it again?
362,000 or something.
362,000. Yeah. Do suppliers usually use email as their form of communication for inventory updates or company changes, or have you encountered suppliers who only use Google Drive for kind of communication?
You see it all, man. Suppliers sometimes won't even tell you about inventory updates. Other suppliers send you an inventory file daily. So it's a completely across the spectrum.
Yeah. Pixelated says, can you share gross margins on 2023? I think, we said we're going to do that in another video, but we did talk about the ad spend, and we did give some hypothetical numbers. We do the full breakdown when it comes closer to like have to do the taxes. So.
Well, I was saying 10% is like an absolute worst case scenario.
Yeah. I said we gave some hypothetical.
I had to look and see like what our top vendors were and what our average margins are, gross margin for each vendor.
Yeah. Jacob says, can someone please dropship cranes?
It's going to be a difficult endeavor.
Yeah. Hassan, when you say you have to sign a supplier that nobody had, what do you mean by this? Well, we don't say that. We don't say that. You can have suppliers other people have. So, we don't pay attention to search volume or anything like that. So, I would say the more suppliers, the better. Not that you have to upload everything or spend money on everything, but it doesn't hurt you to call or get a supplier. Like, I'm not spending much time thinking about if I should get a supplier or not. I'm just gonna, especially when I'm starting, I'm gonna get who I can get. Phoenix. So to spend more, can I just do a search text ad for the high converting terms? Also, if I do that, I notice my unbranded shopping campaign does best. Should I just do non-branded search text ad?
Those are certainly ways to leverage the amount that you spend on your good terms. But there's also ways to improve on what you're currently spending on your shopping ads. So maybe you're not maximizing how much you're showing up at the top for particular brands or for particular products where you have good sales, you have good cost per conversion. So combination of those, as well as SEO for organic traffic, would be how you can increase your traffic over time.
Hello, I am from Pakistan. Can I work with you? I mean, probably not realistically, unless you can get a business in the US or something.
So no, he wants a job.
He wants to work for us. I mean, we don't really have much to do right now, I feel like. But
you
I
can
guess
work for free. You could be an unpaid intern. That's a course we got to drop.
If you email us,
unpaid intern mastery.
Email us with a video and tell us why you think that you would be good. Well, tell us what qualifications you have, I guess. Eving says, if I'm trying to spread out my current niche, would you guys recommend entire rebranding, or does it not matter, for example?
Depends on what your brand is.
Yeah, exactly. We have certain criteria that we have for picking a domain name. So if you follow those criteria, you should have plenty of room to pivot. A bathtub niche, I want to expand to a home niche. Would it be smart?
Why? Stop right there. Don't. Everybody and their mother does the home thing. It's so dumb. You don't need to do it. Everybody falls into this trap, and then so many people fail doing it because it skim off the top. They get the worst suppliers. Everybody's doing home, where you have unlimited supplier selection, and they all wind up getting the same 5 suppliers. How is it possible?
Yeah, I would say there's a lot in bathtub, like just shoulder related. Yeah, a lot in bath that you could go after. We gotta move fast here.
Suppliers in the bath space than you could possibly ever acquire.
Yeah. Yeah, we got to move fast here, Mike. Clarence Riley says we did warn him about not doing fashion. Well, I don't know what to tell you. Jevo Keel says, what creatives are used in high ticket dropshipping? There's really no creatives. That's the good part of it.
The supplier gives you.
Yeah, whatever images and descriptions the supplier gives you are your base level creatives, but you don't have to create like video ads or social media ads, which definitely one of the perks, because doing that sucks. Any recommendations on large suppliers that don't have GTIN numbers and getting around ads throttling?
If you really can't find the GTIN through the lookup, then you can sync the ad or sync the product into Merchant Center with only its brand and its SKU. But the throttling thing, I know Google says that it does that. I have plenty of products that don't have a GTIN that have that limited thing, and it still spends a good amount. It still gets sales. So like, I'm not too pressed to like investigate it and figure out a solution, other than I am almost more worried that if I sync it with the brand and the SKU only, Google's going to view it as less than. So it's something you can experiment with your own products. Like the amount of spend that you're getting, the amount of clicks that you're getting with the limited thing, if you switched it to, I'm just going to sync brand, I'm just going to sync SKU, how does that change what it shows up for, your CPC, all those things? So take a look at that. You might find that when it's limited, it's bullshit, as Google often does.
Yeah. Any update on progress cloud stacking with Jesper Neeson? Give me some time. I'll do an update on that. I'm seeing, well, we tried doing it for one of our e-commerce store pages, and getting, I would say, it's hard to tell the results. I would say definitely positive so far, but I'm just not, like, with all the variables going on with SEO right now, I'm just not 100% sure. It definitely had some positive effect, like locally. But yeah, I'll do something else on that later.
We answered that.
Okay.
Let's give me that question.
Martin Duncan, do you lose all of your momentum when you pause ads? Like, is it about the momentum or retargeting aspect that the bigger the budget, the more person may see it?
A little bit of both. where if you're spending money over time, people are going to come back and they're going to search you again. There's that aspect of it. But if you're pausing your ads, you don't want it enough. You do not want it enough. And you're going to struggle to get things back up and running because you're seeking some sort of perfection that's never going to happen in order for you to start again. Why can't you run your ads at $5 a day? Tell me why not. You can't afford $150 a month? Do Uber for a day, for 2 days out of the month to support you running the ads for your high ticket store. If you're not willing to do that, then you don't want it enough, and it's going to impact if you succeed or not.
Have you ever upsold your store's audience in something other than a physical product? You have a store that targets janitorial services and you offer them Google ads for their business too. You can certainly do this. That we are actually in the process of trying to do this now. So yeah, we'll probably talk about that later. We haven't made too big of an attempt. What I will say is this, we've kind of taken some previous cracks at it in the past. I would say don't underestimate how not savvy your audience may be. So, I think you really got to come at them with like a really good offer, phrase things in the right way, make sure that what you're delivering, you're going to be able to deliver it profitably. And yeah, I would say good offer is the key here. And that was one of our mistakes, is I think we didn't really know what to offer when we tried this. So we are trying it again.
It's harder not to crack than you may think.
Yeah.
Because obviously, like in the spirit of what we're doing, we're targeting people that are searching for janitor products with the janitor products. It's not going to be as easy as it may seem to target somebody or to sell somebody on Google ads that's just trying to buy janitor products.
Yeah.
The easiest person to target to have their Google ads done is someone searching Google ads consulting or something.
Yeah. I mean, we've had plenty of conversations on this because, I mean, we thought this would be like a slam dunk.
Yeah. We're just finally cracking the nut now.
Yeah.
But it's been 8 years. And in the meantime, like you'd be much better off making more money by getting more suppliers than just doing more high ticket drop shipping. Like if you're not at the level yet where you're willing to throw some money out at experimentation in this regard, because are you ready to start up a Google Ads agency?
Yeah, that's the question. Yeah, again, it comes down to the offer. Are you going to be selling them leads? Are you going to be selling them services? Like it's like a whole different thing. Clarence Riley, what is your opinion? Oh my God, I got a cramp. What the fuck? What is your opinion on 3D printers as a niche? I think it could be very good. I mean, I would kind of do it on a broader, I wouldn't do like 3dprinters.com, but I think definitely a good starting point and definitely lots of shoulder niches to go into. William Miller says, do you recommend starting with search and shopping ads or both?
Depends on your budget. If you don't want to spend more than $10 a day, you got to just do shopping ads, really. But I'm not against doing search ads in the beginning. The only drawback is they can be a little expensive per click, and you may not necessarily know like what products are going to perform or what, that can scale up very quickly is the point I want to make. Where with shopping ads, it's kind of like you can bid a little bit lower, show up for a large pool of things, and then you kind of see what works, and then you can make search ads later.
Do you do one-on-one consulting calls?
We only do it with people who are our students. So you can sign up for a free strategy call. We can look at what you got going on, Phoenix. We can tell you, all right, this is how we think we can help you. And then we can decide from there if you actually want to take on, that endeavor, if you want to actually work together. So go to buildassetsonline.com. You can book a free strategy call. See if you're ready to live in your mom's basement for 8 years while doing $6 million in revenue and not making any money. Aren't I good at sales, Joe?
Yeah. Robin says, thanks, guys. That was great. Phoenix says maximize clicks or maximize conversion with a target CPA or
manual CPC.
There you go.
Maximize clicks is interesting. But the point is, we're going for absolute slam dunks. I want to harp on this for a second.
All right.
When we're doing search ads, we're going for absolute slam dunks. So, like, if we're selling an Aviva freestanding bathtub, all I want to do, I just want to show up when people are searching for Aviva freestanding bathtub. So there's no better way to do that than manual CPC. I can control exactly what I have to bid to get to the top for those terms and those very related terms. I don't need Google's algorithm interfering and picking and choosing. This person searching Aviva tub, they're more qualified to buy, or that person searching Aviva tub. I don't care. I want them all, and I'll figure it out later. Manual CPC.
All right.
It does give you an option for manual CPC. You just have to find it. You may have to hit like alternative bidding strategies, and then you can go to manual CPC. You can even put on enhanced CPC, which gives you a little bit of wiggle room with the Google algorithm, or they'll bid extra if they think it's going to get a conversion. Sorry.
Yeah. Should we do the numbers now?
Yeah. Screw it.
All right. So this
year one.
Year one.
I told you we didn't get our first sales till December.
Year two. So I guess we'll read it out loud. Year one, 2.4K. Year two, 264K. Year three, 570K. Year four, 1.5 M. Year six, 2.7 M. Year seven, 4.4 M. Year six, 5.3 M. Year seven, 6.5 M. That's pretty progressive in like the way it grew. I didn't even realize that it was literally
me neither.
Yeah.
So shout out Pixelated for asking that question, because it is crazy how it went. Like, I mean, 5.3 to 6 or whatever. 4.4 to 5. I mean, these are 7-figure increases we're talking about, but like this here, from 2.6 million to 4.4, to double your revenue like that in terms of the millions is pretty interesting.
I wonder if it was like COVID. Because we're talking 2020, it's 2021.
Well, it is interesting how flat this graph is. This is like, and also something to note is like the sales trends. Like this, what we see here in 2020 is more in line with kind of even in 2022, you see a bit of a Q4 increase, like a stepwise increase, and then 2023, it's kind of the same thing. It's weird how in 2021 it was like so smooth. 2020, you see it. 2019, 2018, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, this could be kind of COVID anomaly, supply chain stuff that caused the graph to be like this. But I think, yeah, I don't. This store didn't have like a lot of like we were getting back orders and refunds and stuff like that. Maybe we were taking back orders, but things usually worked out. So, but like this to me is also pretty impressive. Like the 570 to 1.5. But
yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, and this just goes to show people don't think about what they can accomplish in 5+ years of doing something.
Yeah,
it's like, what if we started doing this for our first 3 years? 264, 570, 1.5. Like we do that basically in 6 months now. 3 years we can collapse into 6 months. But it took time of figuring out what worked, the ads, everything. because it was around this time, I think, where we sold the first store. We were puttering before we sold the first store, because we had so many stores and we didn't know what to work on, what not to work on. And then once we sold that store where we were putting a lot of our energy into, we said, okay, let's take these same principles and apply them to our other stores.
Yeah.
He said, looking back, Pixelated, looking back, could you have gone quicker? Well, it's a loaded question because we were going as fast as we could. We just didn't know where to go.
Yeah. If someone could come and tell me like what to do, then it's easy to do it, but you don't always know what to do.
I mean, I'm sure he gets that to a degree as a business owner. It's like, yeah. If I knew the absolute best thing I could do for the business at any given time, I would 100% do it. So if I had known back then, yeah, I probably could have did it sooner. But I didn't know, and it's like you're chiseling away at what are the truths here. So that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. He said, you guys are the best. Congratulations. Thank you. I mean, I don't know. I don't feel that we deserve congratulations. It's nothing that other people couldn't really do given enough time. And that's what we come on here and we try to tell people is like, you're not getting the Lambo in month one. And you shouldn't listen to people that haven't been doing this stuff for a long enough time to have to go through like all these different challenges and uncover what these truths are. So I think, with enough time and energy, anybody can kind of figure this stuff out. You gotta go, Joe?
Yeah, I gotta pee. Last question. I think I'm
right
stuck in the mindset of looking for a home run supplier or home run product or supplier opposed to working with suppliers who may only bring one sale a month. Is this the wrong approach? I mean, one sale a month is a little small, but yes, in general, you can't always be searching for this. Like it just has to come.
This is a totally black or white situation.
You got to use a shotgun approach versus like a sniper rifle or whatever.
But like the majority of cases are going to be neither of these. They're not going to be home run suppliers, but they're going to be better than one sale a month.
Yeah, I mean that's the majority of cases. I feel like we have had some, like the store we last sold, there was like basically like it was driven by like one supplier. So it certainly can happen. But no, it's not the norm, I would say.
One sale a month to me is, you're going to have supplier, like you're going to have a best supplier. You're going to have a top 2-3 suppliers, and the others just kind of putter. Yeah. One sale a month is low.
Yeah.
And there's, again, also, as I go further along with this, I realize a lot of the times more can be done with particular suppliers than maybe we knew back then. So even if you got 5 mediocre suppliers that each brought you one sale a week, now you're getting 20 sales a month. 20 sales, your average order value is $2,000. Now you're doing $40,000 a month.
Yeah.
$40,000 a month for a year. You're at this stage. You're doing almost $500,000 a year in sales. So like that's enough to get you the momentum. And it could even be enough to make it your full-time gig. Like if you're comfortable making, $50K, $60K on as like take-home income, could be enough. But that's it. Are we wrapping this up?
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
All right, guys and gals, thank you for coming along. Go to buildassetsonline.com, free strategy call. See if you want to work one-on-one, learn how to build a store, learn how to build a 7-figure store that you can sell for maybe big money down the line. But that's it. We'll be back soon. Take it or leave it, guys. But as always, take it easy.